Hi, this is Sharon. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to create this daisy pattern. I was looking at different videos that people had, and I couldn't find something that I absolutely loved. I got the idea of daisies from Krista from The Secret Yarnery. She had made videos on making a bouquet of roses and then a bouquet of spring flowers like chrysanthemums, and I wanted to make a bouquet of daisies. But as I said, I couldn't find something that I absolutely loved, so I decided to create my own. Going along with that, I decided to take my daisy from this to this, which is hard to see because it's on a skewer. And then I also made a bud for my daisy. I can't put it right underneath my camera because of the height of the camera and the length of the skewers. But this is a bud, and the green part of the bud is from Krista's rose video. So I will link her information below in case you would like to make this as well. So now I'm going to teach you how to make this daisy. To make the daisy, I'm using Premier's Just Yarn worsted from the dollar store. It's now $1.25. It's 153 yards or 140 meters, and it is a medium weight number 4, 100% acrylic, and it's actually a really nice soft yarn. I'm using an H hook or a 5.0 millimeter, and to start you're going to make a magic circle. I do have a video teaching how to make a magic circle more slowly, and I'll reference that on the top corner of the video so that you can click on that if you don't know how to do it. But you're going to put the tail over your fingers, wrap around, go under the first, pulling through that second loop, and pulling through. And as I said, I have a video teaching it much slower. I will link that for you to look at. Now you're going to make 12 double crochets into the center of this magic circle. So to make a double crochet, you're going to yarn over, go into the circle, pull up a loop. You now have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and that is your first double crochet. Second double crochet, 3, 4, 11, 12. Now pull your tail to close up your circle, go into your first double crochet, slip stitch to connect, chain 1 to join it together, and then you're going to cut that off, pull your crochet hook up to release your yarn, and snug it down, and there you have the center of your daisy. Now I recommend that you weave your ends in right away. So to weave in my ends, I like using a sharp tip needle. It ensures that the yarn gets caught in the other pieces of yarn and really gets woven in there well. So you're going to start out going in the same direction underneath your loops. Weave through a couple of times. Then go back in the opposite direction. Make sure that you go over a piece so that you're not going through and pulling out what you just did. And then you're going to go back and weave around again, going in the opposite direction for a third pass around. And now I feel confident that my yarn is secure. And again, I'm just going to cut off that extra piece and weave in this one. And I'm just going to look on the back and slide it into that same section. So I'm coming down through another stitch and going into the same part where I was. Don't pull it too tight because you don't want to distort your circle. If you pull it too tight, you see how it'll pull this down? So you want to make sure that it's kind of relaxed. And snip that off. And now we have the center of our daisy. So now you're finished with your yellow. Now I'm going to use white. It's the same yarn, just yarn worsted, same yardage and everything. And I'm going to put my hook through that first stitch, fold my yarn over, pull through, and I'm going to chain one using both pieces of yarn. Now I'm going to drop my tail and I'm going to make a treble crochet. So to make a treble crochet, you're going to yarn over twice, go into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two. And remember, this is really one because I had my yarn doubled. That's why it looks like there's three there, but it's really just the one. Now I'm going to chain three, and we're going to make what's called a chain three picot. So 1, 2, 3. So that's my chain three. If you turn it over, you'll see these bumps, and we're going to go into that third bump, pull through and slip stitch to the first chain. And that's our picot stitch. And now we're going to do another treble crochet. So we're going to yarn over twice, go back into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through two, pull through two, pull through two, and now we're going to chain three again. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to slip stitch into that same stitch, and then slip stitch into the next stitch. And now we have one petal made. So let's do that again. Chain one, treble crochet, pull through two, pull through two, pull through two, and then we're going to chain three. Sorry, I need more yarn. Chain three picot is next. So 1, 2, 3. Go into that third back bump and slip stitch to the chain, to the last chain that we made. Yarn over twice for triple crochet. Go through two, go through two, go through two, chain three, slip stitch into the same stitch, and then slip stitch into the next stitch. And now chain one, treble crochet, 1, pull through two again, pull through again, chain three picot. I'm calling everything but the right names. Go through the back and then slip stitch, treble crochet, Let me start that again. Treble crochet, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, chain 3, 2, 3, slip stitch, and then slip stitch into the next stitch. I'll show you one more time. So chain 1, treble crochet, go through 2, go through 2, go through 2, chain 3 picot, 1, 2, 3, turn it over, go through the 3rd loop, and then slip stitch, treble crochet. We're doing this all into one stitch, same stitch. Chain 3, slip stitch back into that same stitch, and then slip stitch into the next one. So now you're going to repeat this all the way around, and this is where you can decide if you want to have 11 or 12 petals. My friend Judy talked about the he loves me not, and if you do 12 petals, you end up on he loves me not. So we decided that we're going to make 11 petals so that we always land on he loves me. Hi Judy, thank you for that great idea. So I'm going to continue around, and I'm going to stop when I get to 11 petals, and then I'll come back and show you how to join that stitch to close up your flower. So now I'm back, and I have 11 of my daisy petals, and I did my chain 3. I'm going to slip stitch into the same chain, and now I'm going to slip stitch into the bottom of my very first daisy petal. Slip stitch there. I'm going to chain 1, cut my yarn, leaving long enough to weave in, pull up, and now you'll have your beginning and your ending yarn, and I like to tie them in a knot. So tie it over 1. Don't pull it too super tight. You don't want to distort your flower. Make a 2nd, and then I like to make a 3rd just for good measure. And now I'm going to weave in those ends. And I'm just going to go along the back here. And again, I'm going to weave one way, and then weave back over. If it's not long enough, I'll stick my needle through, and then I'll thread the yarn through after. And pull through. And then the same with that little piece of tail from the beginning. I should have left a longer tail. And then I'm going to cut those ends off. You can go through 3 times. I only went through twice and once on this one since it was so tiny. Ideally, you want to make 3 passes. But now you have your daisy. Now you're going to take a skewer. I just hot glued a yellow button on top. And this part is in Krista's video. She uses either a skewer with a button or a knitting needle. And then you just poke that through the center. And now you have your daisy on the skewer. And then My husband suggested either painting this green, or while I was at the dollar store, I bought $1.25 store, correct myself. I just bought some floral tape, and it's very easy to attach this to the flower. It's a little bit tricky getting it in the beginning because you have to, it sticks to itself. It's not sticky to anything else. So you have to kind of get it to stick to itself. And then once you do that, it's really easy. And then I just literally spin and twist and guide it down in a diagonal. And then when I get towards the end, I'm just going to cut it. You could rip it with your fingers, but it doesn't always tear evenly. So I found that cutting it was the best way to go. And then, as I said, it sticks to itself, so just keep twisting it around. And now you have a nice green stem to put into your vase. And I'm going to put a picture of my vase with these in it at the end. So next, I'm going to show you how to make the daisy bud. So stay tuned for that. Now we're going to make our daisy bud. To do the bud, we're going to start out the same way with a magic circle and 12 double crochets into that magic circle. We have 1, 2, 3, 11, 12. And now we're going to go into, pull your tail to close up your circle. And now we're going into that first stitch and slip stitch to join, chain 1. And now we're going to make a double crochet bobble. I'll show you how we're going to do that. Yarn over, go into the first stitch as though we're making a double crochet, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, and stop. Yarn over, go into your second stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and stop. We now have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, go through the third, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, and stop. You have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, go through your 4th stitch, pull up a loop, pull through 2, and stop. And now we have 5 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through all 5, and slip stitch. Now we're going into the next 4 stitches. Yarn over, go into that first stitch, go through 2, and stop. Yarn over, go into the second stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and stop. Go into that third, pull through 2, go into the 4th, pull through 2, and now we have 5 loops on our hook. Pull through all 5 and slip stitch. And now our last 4. Yarn over, pull through 2 and stop. Go into the next one, pull through 2, go into the next one, pull through 2, and into the last one, pull through 2. You now have 5 loops on your hook. Pull through all 5 and slip stitch. And now we're going to slip stitch to the top or stitch in here, slip stitch to join, chain 1 to end, cut a tail long enough to weave in, and pull up, And now you kind of want to puff it up a bit, and we have our bud. You're going to turn it over on the back and weave in this end. And I weave this in the same way. Sorry about my clock. And then go back the other way. And then go back the opposite way. And cut that off. And now we're going to take this part and I'm going to put this through the center. But again, you don't want to pull it too tight because you want to keep this, keep it so that it can be puffy. So just leave it so that there's a little bit of a loop there. And then you can weave this around the same way. Go back the other way. And then make a third pass. And then cut that off. And again, take your hook and just puff it back out again. And now, I just put a white button on this skewer because you're not going to see it inside here. You're going to go into the bobble from one of these openings on the side and try to push it through the center of your magic circle. And then you want to pull it so that it goes inside the bobble. So pull your bobble up around it, just like that. So now we have that on the skewer. And then I use the small green leaf from Krista's, The Secret Yarnery, from her rose pattern. And use that for the green underneath. And then I'm going to do the same thing with my floral tape. If you do the floral tape first, it makes the skewer too thick and it won't go through the flowers. If you want to paint them, you could paint them. I just found the floral tape easy to do and it's not messy. And fold it back onto itself. And now you have your bud. So I hope you liked this video. Please make sure to give me a thumbs up. And if you are not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. I'd love to have you here longer. And I will see you in the next video. Take care.